Salutations, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of World's Finest. Lee and LT here as always. What's up, my friend? How are you?
Bro. Doing good, brother. Doing good. How's everything?
Let's keeping it moving, man. Keeping it moving. It was the first day of school up here for where I am in Virginia. So that was interesting and fun. I work from home, so I enjoyed having the peace of quiet to the house once again. So that was nice. But the kids had a great first day. They're back here. They filled us all in, and it was all good stuff, man. All good stuff. How about you?
No, just work keeping me busy, man. My daughter's officially finished with college, so there's no first day of school. I'm hoping she'll call and say, "Yeah, first day of work," but no, that
Right.
hasn't happened yet. Sorry, man.
And then you'll be taking those snapshots there just like that. Huh? You'll be taking the snapshots for the first day of work and so excited. No, I get it.
Yeah. So, no, other than
That's
that, man,
exciting,
it's
actually.
work, work, work. That's all I do, and
I feel you.
collect. That's all I do. I
And
have no life.
correct. Hey, dude, you have a life. Look at all that. That's a life. That's a life,
Uh,
man. That's a life. Your hauls are fantastic, dude. Your hauls are fantastic.
Thank you, thank you.
Dude, well, since you brought that up, I got to ask a question before we get into this episode, which we're going to talk about She-Hulk, guys. The first episode of She-Hulk has dropped, so we're going to kind of walk through that, share our thoughts with you on that one. And then I know that they just announced Thor Ragnarok comes out on Disney Plus Day on September 8th.
Right.
So we'll kind of go into that. I don't think on this particular show, I don't think we ever share our thoughts on Ragnarok. So we'll briefly discuss that. I know why I'm excited to see it again when it comes
Oh yeah,
out,
yeah.
just to
So
give this another run through. But dude, so platinum pieces for the McFarlane behind you. Now, the platinum pieces, are they ones that are just like color? Not there's no color to them. They're just gray shade, or am I kind of off
platinum
base?
pieces are, and they started off as chase variants, like chase meaning very hard. You need to chase these down. It started off with figures having maybe a different head sculpt or a different color scheme. One early one was the Zack Snyder Batman. We had a Ben Affleck Batman with goggles, but the chase was his goggles on his head. That was the platinum version. It was a regular,
Okay.
and just the only thing was a head sculpt. And of course, that you had to find that. But here lately, he's been doing a lot of the artist proof series as platinum.
Okay. See, that's
And
what I was going in there, where they're just like
yeah,
no
there's
color
just
or anything like that.
a lot of people hate it, and a lot of people just don't dig it. I need it. I'm a completist. I need it, but it is what it is. People do actually repaint it. Deco how they want it. So in a way, it's pretty good. But as an inbox collector completist, it's gonna stay like that, untouched gray. And
That's what's up.
he's got a lot of these variants. With different figures. Not every figure gets it, or not every series or wave gets one. It's just certain special ones.
Thanks for clearing that up for me. I was reading something the other day, and I sell the platinum pieces and all of that. But what you just said makes perfect sense, and I guess I should have probably put it together. That it is the purpose of them are for people to kind of take and create and make their own. Is that really what
Yeah,
the purpose of them is?
at
Really?
least at least it's been with these artist proof series. That
Hmm.
he has not come out with a variant, uh what do you call it, platinum, in a while. In
Okay.
fact, I don't think the last one might have been Dr. Fate. It was just different colors as
Hmm.
Groot, like Groot,
Root,
Gorilla
you cross
Grodd.
pollination. Okay,
Gorilla
Gorilla
Grodd.
Grodd.
See, here's got Groot. Wrong one.
Yeah.
Here's the platinum version, and then the regular version is gold.
Oh, okay, got it.
Okay, gold, and then platinum.
Okay.
It's not. They're not artist proofs. They're actual figures, just deco different.
So really, there's just I got it. Okay, interesting that he does that. So I did see this. They just I don't know in the past couple of weeks they just dropped a new Shazam too, and I know you and I talked months ago here on the show about why they hadn't really, for the longest time, which has been King Shazam, and that was it. And it's just like, why can't you just give us a
Yeah,
real
he
Shazam?
he's on my wall. It is the comic version, not the Zachary Levi version. I don't know if there will be one. I'm sure there will be.
I
As
I heard, not to cut you, sorry,
no,
just
go
to
ahead.
interject. I heard that there was plans for them to come out, but the fact that when they rearranged all of the Warner Brothers movies, Shazam, I think was coming out at one point went in June or May, right? But now it's coming out in December, and I think when they moved it up, those figures weren't going to be ready for. You would know more than me. Have you heard anything about that? That the movie
I
figures weren't
haven't.
going to
I
be ready by the
usually
time they come out.
I keep my ear, to the grind as far as rumors and leaks, and I have not heard anything about Shazam or any
Yeah,
of his family.
yeah, but I think that's why they said it, or at least that's what I read. And again, that's I was hoping you could verify it. It sounds like you haven't heard that, but it was because they, and then maybe they will still come out, but they just won't be ready in time for for the movie. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
it could
they
be
usually
because
come out a couple months beforehand. Like the Black Adam figures all came out this summer in anticipation for the October, or they actually probably came out this summer because they thought Black Adam was supposed to be out in July.
yeah, like
Yeah,
when Shazam 1 came out, the license was Mattel's, and
right.
Mattel only put out two figures, Dr. Savannah and Shazam, as part of their wave, one of their waves, but it was just like a almost a last minute thought. They only put those two figures out. So I don't know if that's what they're waiting for. I would not think McFarlane, such a big company, would just hastily, put something together real fast because a bunch of
Yeah,
these figures take, months to plan. I mean, as far as like the artist proofs, artist proofs are meant to be given to him or a committee to go and look over, and then from there look at different prototypes as far as decos and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it
okay,
is a long line of checks and balances to get a figure out. So
yeah.
I'm sure there will be one, and of course I'll get it, but who knows. But this new one is pretty good. It's comic accurate. Rebirth, really nice figure.
Yeah, I liked it. When I saw of it, I thought it was a really, really nice figure as well. But I'm going to go back and we'll move on after this. But I just love asking you questions about these things. And this is just something simple to your own personal preference. Two Dr. Fates, because Dr. Fate just recently came out in the past 6 months, I think. But then they had another one come out, which was the Black Adam version,
Right.
right? So, which do you have a personal preference between those two?
I like the first one, the comic version one, as
Yeah.
like only because I haven't seen the movie yet and I can't compare. I have the original Fate and the Chase Platinum Fate, just a color swap, and then the
Mhm.
new one. But again, the new one doesn't have really. I mean, I'm hoping they do some kind of variant where it's maskless, and then we get to see a
Pierce Brosnan.
yeah, Pierce Brosnan head sculpt, really cool. Just like have you ever seen the Rock, the Shazam figure? It's a dead on spot, sculpt of Dwayne Johnson's face or
So
his
the
head.
Black Adam
Yeah,
figure,
the
you
black
mean
guy.
then?
Yeah. So
Yeah. Okay.
I'm hoping they would do that for Pierce Bronson because he's the next big name in that movie.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree. Aldous Hodge is making a name for himself, who plays Hawkman.
yeah.
He was in the movie Ambulance, and he's doing some things. He was also in Watchmen, I think. Oh no, no, I'm wrong. Don't guys delete that. That was wrong. He was not in Watchmen. That was a totally different actor. That was Black Manta, the actor from Black Manta,
Oh
who
yeah, yeah.
plays, who was in the Watchmen TV show from
Yeah.
HBO. That was really good, I thought. Yeah. Well, thank you for allowing me to ask you a couple questions about that, my friend. I definitely appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
But guys, we are going to talk about, as we talked about last episode, this episode is going to be about She-Hulk. Uh, I, I've said it before, this was the show that I was really, out of all the stuff that they announced previously, this was the one I was most excited about because I know She-Hulk. I know her. She's my personal friend. No, but I know her more like Hawkeye, yes, but we'd already seen him. I was looking forward to that show. I was looking forward to WandaVision. But I guess what I'm saying is, out of the new shows of characters that were being introduced in the show, in the Disney Plus shows, She-Hulk was my favorite because as a child, obviously knew her, Hulk's cousin, but she was a mainstay in the Avengers, and then she was a mainstay in the Fantastic Four when the Thing stayed behind on Battleworld after Secret Wars. She kind of took up the power, the strength portion, for the Fantastic Four. So I really got to know her as a character. So I've been really excited about this. And it came out last week. Um, What did you think of it?
I thought, well, I mean, like you, I did not so much grow up on it, but I knew who she was as far as to Bruce Banner, Hulk, all that. I mean, she's a relatively not new character. She was what I think
1980.
1980, 1980,
Yeah,
right? I mean, that's still relatively new to compared to the Avengers or the
42
characters
years.
we've already introduced. Uh but no, I loved it. I mean, it was a far cry from the crappy CGI trailer we got. You know, right off the bat, you were like, "Wow, now that's how CJ's done," especially with the Hulk.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I loved it. I mean, it was a soft introduction to how she became. It wasn't so much a backstory, you know. I mean, although it was, I'm sorry, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a true origin story. You know, she was already the Hulk or She Hulk when we met her, and she just
Mhm.
forced walled her way into the audience and told the story. You know, and that's what's cool about that, the fourth wall, and that's all she did in the comics. You know,
Mhm.
and I was that is that something I was before Deadpool or Deadpool
No,
happened?
that was I think she actually was before Deadpool, but I think it was from the Dan Slott run, if I'm not mistaken, where that became a prominent thing. And it might not even, like it didn't start off like that with her, from the in the 80s. Not that I can remember, I don't believe it did at least. I think it was more of like a 90s run, 2000s run where that fourth wall started to be broken. It definitely didn't start out with the Savage She-Hulk that came out in 1980.
Right.
But and I think so. She was definitely, but I do believe she was pre Deadpool in this whole time.
As far as yeah,
Yeah. No. And I guess the actress Tatiana Maslany. Did you watch Orphan Black by any chance?
I did not.
I didn't either. And as sci-fi fans, I think that's something we probably both would enjoy. I've heard a lot of good things about it. She won an Emmy for Best Actress uh, for that show, just a couple of years ago. And she's the star of She-Hulk, and she's playing She-Hulk, and I think she did a really good job.
Yeah.
I do. Um, little did I know that She-Hulk would be answering one of the questions: Did Captain America ever have sex? I was surprised about that, but who knew that was where we would get that answer from?
Well, I mean,
Um,
it there, they're showing you that they're not afraid to touch on subjects like that. They're being a little bit more adult about it as a Disney
mhm.
show. I mean, especially that last, clip at the end where she's all like, Captain
Yeah,
America, what?
yeah,
And then and again, as part of the storyline, we know she is very sexual. She's very, animalistic in that way. That was part of her She-Hulk. She's got that real hard sex drive, and
right.
it looks like they're going to show that there, right? I mean, at
It,
least from the
it,
previews.
it does. It does. It looks like she'll be doing some dating, that's for sure. Um, but I think that this was it planted a lot of seeds for a lot of things. Actually, it's done in an episodic or not episodic, comedic way, which I didn't mind. Actually, I didn't think it wasn't too much, and I'll get
No,
into what
it
I think
wasn't.
too much is here when we talk about Ragnarok coming out on September 8th. That's that's when I think the comedy got a little too much. But I digress. I'll go back to She-Hulk. Um, I think they planted a lot of cool seeds, and I think this is what they're going to. From what I understand, she's going to make the leap to the big screen. She'll be in the next Avengers movies.
Oh, at
I think
least.
all these characters will be like Ms. Marvel and all of that stuff. They'll definitely be on the big screen, but She-Hulk will definitely be, as like I said, Ms. Marvel. But I, they planted the way that she even got her powers is because there was a spaceship that came down and right in front of them, looking for my guess is Bruce.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a big Easter egg right there, and I'm hoping they're going to go from what I think as far as because that was the ship from Ragnarok, the
yeah,
uh, from the planet Sakaar. Yeah,
yep, yep.
which a lot of people have been talking about that maybe it could be Scar, his son, coming to find him, or they're trying to find him to bring him back for some reason. I don't know. The whole bunch of World War Hulk scenarios, the comic series,
Yeah.
but only time will
And
tell. We didn't see
well,
anything
I
else in that episode about it.
no, and they mentioned him a little bit. We got a lot of smart Hulk in this, and I know a lot of people's opinions. Uh, you know, and this is Smart Hulk though is based on a character from the comics. I mean, he was Smart
Uh,
Hulk,
pro
and if
Well, Professor. Shoot, I forgot. Yeah,
it
it's
wasn't Joe
actually
Fixit, it was like from the '80s run where he actually was able to take control of the Hulk. And it was interesting because my son watched it. We watched it together, and he said, "Dad, I like Hulk back when he was in the Avengers. You know what I mean? He just seems
oh yeah,
so nerfed now, or just so soft now.
yeah,
And he's still super strong as he demonstrated throwing the rock like he did. He could throw that rock way out into it looked like it went launched into space. You know what I mean?
right.
Or at least into the atmosphere, burned up in the atmosphere. But then you look back and you see things like how's the Jeep knocking him around, just weird stuff like
Yeah, and
that.
then he was doing the whole stretching namaste type yoga, and you're like, wait, that's not the Hulk. Uh,
you, so I mean, but I think we're going to get him peppered throughout the show, for sure. Did you like how they answered the question? And I know a lot of people didn't like this either about how his arm was healed. I mean, they
yeah,
kind of just
right.
quickly,
They just like told you that, and boom, that's that question was answered in like 2 seconds.
yeah, that somehow her DNA helped heal his
Yeah,
arm.
and he
You
just
know what I
fixed
mean?
himself. So yeah, no more arm, and also the reason why he was Bruce. Why we saw him as Bruce at the end of Shang-Chi instead of Hulk.
And why
So
was that?
he had this little modified gizmo on his hand that was helping him be Bruce or control and whatever toxic or gamma rays to let him be Bruce. But then it broke, I think, right now, or when it broke in the accident.
But was he doing that though? Like, why did he want to be Bruce? Like, I
I don't
mean,
know. I think he was. I don't know why they didn't explain, but I mean, a lot of people were figuring or trying to figure out why he was Bruce at the end of Shang-Chi instead of Hulk,
right,
especially when
right.
we saw him last as a Hulk in a sling.
Yeah. See, I figured it has something to do with his arm, and that's why he was staying Bruce, hoping that it was going to heal. I don't know. It just didn't make. I missed that. Maybe I need to go back and rewatch it. That happened with dialogue, in the very beginning, talking to his cousin Jennifer
Right.
as they were driving down the road. Um, no, I think for an opening episode, I think it was good. We're getting 9 episodes of this. I
Nice.
know we're gonna. I think we're gonna have a lot of cool cameos um, throughout this. Obviously, we already know we get Daredevil, which is freaking phenomenal. I'm
In
really
the in
excited.
the yellow suit, that's even better.
Yeah, yeah, and I know that so I'm excited about that, but I think we'll probably see a bunch of C-list villains coming through is my guess,
Frogman.
especially with the her handling court cases and all of that. Neil Bronsky, of course, the Abomination will be
Um,
back.
right.
We had a quick glimpse of Titania
Right.
at the very end, um, coming as she busts through, and I guess we'll probably get her backstory as to why she even did that. No, we
Right.
don't know why she busted up in the
No,
courthouse.
no.
Actually,
There was just she came in, got busted, and we probably won't see her for another 3 or 4 episodes. Who
I
knows?
don't know. I do like that actress though, Jamila, I believe her name
Yeah,
is.
she's
She was from. I don't know if you ever watched A Good Place.
yeah,
You did?
yeah, she's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. She's, she was funny. She was hilarious in that. So I think she's gonna be. I think she'll be a good fit for this show too.
But no. Other than that, like I said, the C-listers, they might include other, Avengers. I mean, I'm hoping they include a lot more characters that were going to be tied into the new, multiverse that we're going towards. As far as the MCU movies. So
Yeah. Mhm. And I'm sorry we're jumping all around all the place, but she'll definitely be in there. But going back to the Hulk, I think we're finally going to get. We haven't had a solo Hulk movie for however many
and
long since that
that's
summer of Iron Man. What was it, 2008?
Universal, right?
I
Right.
think it
Oh,
was 2008.
that was a long and with a different
Yeah,
actor.
yeah, Edward Norton.
Yeah.
So it was Universal, and so everybody talks about how 20th Century Fox had the rights to X-Men and Daredevil and all of that, and people talk about how Sony still has the rights to Spider-Man in his universe. What people don't realize, or maybe they do, is that the Hulk is still tied up with Universal. So that's why they were never able to make him his own starring role in a
Now,
film.
is She-Hulk under that umbrella, right? Or anything Hulk related?
I don't believe so. I think it was mostly the Hulk, because I don't think it's like as bad as Spider-Man, to where, um, you know,
Yeah, because
Sony had
Spider-Man, any
Spider-Man, and then all of his world,
yeah,
anything that was created and
is all
attached to
Sony.
Spider-Man, was that. I don't believe Universal's went to that extent, right? I think it was more along the lines, because it couldn't have been, because they were able to use they used what's his name, William, Thunderbolt Ross, you
Yeah. Oh,
know,
that was another question I was gonna bring up.
yeah,
Oh, do you think we'll see something about him? I mean, because I mean, do we already have a replacement for Thunderbolt? Or are they even gonna mention him? Are they gonna, as far as
I
the
don't know. It would be good to get some type of mention of him and Betty again, if they actually do get the rights back to, but I think they've had the rights to some of Hulk's supporting cast, but they weren't able to, or maybe they were just able to use him like they were, because that's how they were able to use the Hulk. They were able to use him as a supporting role in group movies, but they could never make a solo film without having those rights completely,
right?
without Universal. But
But
I bring all this up to say I think Universal is losing those now, and then the Hulk is going to be back completely with Marvel again,
are they
and that's
losing?
why they're
Really?
planting these seeds. Yeah, yep, and that's why they're
Cool.
planting these seeds for this World War Hulk movie that
Oh
I believe is
man,
going
that
to come
have you
out.
read that series of comics? Oh, it's beautiful. The World
I
War Hulk.
did,
Oh my
I did.
God.
I That was good, but I really enjoyed the series of the Hulk films the Hulk comics when he came back to
Oh
Earth
yeah. Yeah.
and was looking for revenge against the Illuminati
The
and just every
Illuminati.
other hero that stepped in his way. Man, I really enjoyed that run of that series. That was
Yeah.
really good to me. So I say all this to say I think when they're starting to set the stage for that, and that's that ship for sure, and it will take it back to Battle World, not Battle World, Sakaar, as
Yeah.
you said, and so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. But yeah, I'm excited to see where we go for these next 8 episodes. I am a little bummed. I thought, why couldn't we? Because it was like, 35 minutes or whatever, 40 minutes. I was like, why couldn't we get in 2 episodes at one day like they have been
Yeah.
doing sometimes? I mean, even
Review
Andor's getting
drop
three
was good.
episodes back to
Yeah.
back. 3 episodes. But yeah, just give us a 2 episode drop, which I think that would have been a little bit better. I think. But I did enjoy it. I know a lot of people didn't.
I
I
know for
did.
some reason a lot of people hated it, and it you need to stop being a purist, man. You got to live in the now. And it's not all about the woke culture. It's not about women empowerment. Wow, already. But uh, that's just the She-Hulk. So I don't know. That's how she is. She's
Yeah.
strong as a woman before she becomes She-Hulk. So
Yeah, yeah. No, so I'm excited to see where it goes. It's definitely going to be good, to me at least. And like I said, we're going to get a lot of cool cameos. I think we might get a couple A-list cameos too. I
I think
really
so.
do.
Yeah, me
I
too.
do. Outside of the Hulk, and Daredevil, I think we're going to see some.
Now, what show is after this? Have they said? Do we know? As far as
Ooh,
Disney Plus?
oh my gosh! You know what, man? I don't know the
Because
answer to
I
that
I know
question.
they're filming Ironheart right now, and she is scheduled to come out in Wakanda this Christmas or November, whenever.
Oh, it might be Secret Invasion.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
true.
think.
Because I think that's done too. That's already in the can.
Yeah, Yeah, I think that might. Well, and I Am Groot just dropped. Yeah, I don't know if you
Mm,
caught those little
I haven't
shorts on
seen those.
Disney Plus. I watched two of them. It was not bad. Yeah, Secret Invasion, I believe, is the next one,
Nice.
in early 2022, and that'll be 6 episodes,
Cool. Cool.
coming out after that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Um, so and we'll continue to talk about it as they drop, and all these cool
Definitely.
cameos, and talk about them. Also, we have, as I mentioned, briefly wanted to mention Thor Ragnarok comes out September 8th on Disney Plus Day. There's a lot of cool things that are coming out that day also. If you're a Pinocchio fan, the live action Pinocchio film is coming out with Tom Hanks.
I saw
Uh,
the
yeah,
trailer.
Yep, so that'd be cool. I will actually probably I like the live action Disney stuff. I think that's pretty good stuff. But we've got Thor Ragnarok. Now, briefly, I saw it in the theater when it came out.
Are we talking about
LT.
Ragnarok
Oh, not
or
Thor Ragnarok. I'm sorry, not Thor Ragnarok. Thor Love and Thunder. Yeah,
yeah?
Thor Love and Thunder comes out September 8th. My apologies. I saw when it came on the theaters.
So did I.
LT, we haven't talked about it on this show. I don't even know if you and I have talked about it. What was your thought
Well,
on?
I don't know if you really noticed this or if this is about to blow your mind, but yes, everyone hated the comedic part of it. It was like more almost over the top, more so than Thor Ragnarok. I mean, Thor Ragnarok was hilarious. It's
Oh
still
yeah,
one of my favorite MCU movies, and it looked like they try to mimic this, but and it looked like they overdid it sometimes. But if you really think about it, the movie started off with Korg telling you a story. And how did it end? He ended telling you the story. So what made me think, or what I've been told, is that this whole movie was told by Korg. That's why it was hilarious. That why it was offbeat, because Korg was the one telling the story. Now that
huh.
kind of makes
I
more
mean,
sense. But if that wasn't the whole, it was a good movie. No, I'm not bashing it, but there was some parts like just, the whole what's his face splits or when the two between the two bikes, the
yeah.
yeah, and just there's just so much that just could not, it could have been just done. But overall, I really like the movie. I love Taika Waititi and all his stuff he does. I mean, I'm right now I'm watching his show on Hulu, Reservation Dogs. Have you ever seen that one?
Mhm.
It's a
No,
good
but I've
show.
heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good show, and everything he does is put up. But for the most part, it was good, but a little bit too campy.
Yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I definitely didn't think it was in the higher. It's not in the top anything of mine for the Marvel films. They
Well,
leaned way too much into the comedy of it, and Marvel's always had humor, which I appreciate. With starting with the first Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., he was hilarious in that. But this one just leaned too much. The Russell Crowe's Zeus was just I mean, it was just like it was too much. It was
well,
too much of it.
there was too much story, man. The whole Jane, Mighty Thor, and the whole
Hmm.
the God Butcher stories are two totally different stories, but they combine them into one on top of, yeah. And then we got the Zeus part, and it was just too much information to come out, and it wasn't even that long a movie, right? It was like two
No, it
hours.
wasn't.
It
Yeah.
would have been nice to focus on Gore the God Butcher more than Jane, or not even include Jane. Maybe Jane another time, but it
Yeah.
is what
No,
it
I
is.
think you're right. I think those both of those things deserve their own film.
Yeah, because in the comic series, I think Gore the God Butcher was its own series, and then after that was, I think, I could be wrong. I'm not that much of a Marvel buff, but I think the Mighty Thor was after that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
it was good, and they ended it well, just like in the comics with her going to Valhalla, and which again in the comics she comes back, so they leave that open. But I don't think Natalie Portman will be back for another MCU.
I, I actually enjoyed her role, and I thought she did that. She didn't bother me actually. I didn't. I enjoyed her being in the film, and it was just. But I think, like you said, it was just she's got cancer, and those are all serious scenes going on in the doctor. Next thing you know, we got some naked gun slapstick airplane comedy going on. And it was just like, and I appreciate a good comedy. I do. I think that if they had found the right melding like they did in Ragnarok, because when Odin was dying, that wasn't like some terrible, like they weren't like, haha, nosh,
No,
nosh, wink,
no,
wink on
exactly.
that. You know what I mean? They were able to handle that. And for a Marvel movie, for me to really enjoy it, I feel like there needs to be real stakes. And for this one, that's my opinion.
Yeah, no, and I don't think she'll be back. I mean, even though again in the comics she comes back as a Valkyrie, I don't think
Yeah.
they'll write her back into the story. Uh, I mean, it was a good movie, and I believe there will be another Thor. I think there's going to be another Thor.
They said
Not,
throw return.
yeah,
Yeah.
not maybe in the next few years, because that wasn't part of timeline that they displayed at Comic-Con, right? They didn't have another Thor anywhere, so
No, they didn't have that, but they had a lot of things that were missing. Like Ironheart was missing, and we know that's coming out for sure.
Armor Wars was
Armor
missing.
Wars, yeah. So, oh yeah, I don't think they had Ironheart there, did they? No, they
No,
didn't.
I don't
But
think
we
so.
know that's
I
coming
don't
out, and
sure.
she's introduced there in Wakanda, or in the Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, building her first Iron Man suit, or I don't
Yep.
know what it's called, but it's a
Yeah,
version of Iron Man.
for sure. Well, cool guys. Well, listen, that's the episode. We just wanted to share our thoughts on She-Hulk. We'll be back, of course, as the show continues. We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about the cool cameos that come out. You know, Thor, for you guys to know, comes out September 8th, Thor Love and Thunder on Disney Plus. I'm gonna give it another shot,
Oh
watch it
yeah,
again. You
I'm
know
gonna
what I
watch
mean?
it again
And
easily.
I appreciated some things, but some things I was just like, it just took me off. Hey,
Although
we'll see what
it didn't
happens.
stop me from buying the whole line of the figures from that movie. So yeah,
Nothing's gonna stop you from doing that.
true, true. Nah.
Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us. We definitely appreciate it. As always, hit the like button, subscribe, share, leave a comment, listen to us wherever you like to listen to your favorite podcasts. And that's it, LT. Am I forgetting anything?
No, no. So we'll see y'all next time. Same bat channel, same bat time.
There we go. Yes, indeed, my friends. All right, guys, take care.
Later, brother.
Later, LT.